Nigerian Senate is run like a cult, suspended MP tells BBC. Kindly share this video, subscribe, like, and comment below. A Nigerian senator who alleged she was sexually harassed by one of the country's top politicians has told the BBC the Senate operates like a cult. A fortnight ago, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended for 6 months after submitting a petition saying she had been harassed by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, which he denies. His office also rejected the cult comparison, the latest twist in a row that has gripped Nigeria, raising questions about gender equality in the socially conservative nation. Akpoti-Uduaghan said she was being punished for speaking out against the system and that she now feared for her and her 2-year-old safety as her security detail had been stripped. The Nigerian Senate operates like a cult. The Senate President runs the Senate like a dictator, not a democrat. There is no freedom of speech, there is no freedom of expression, and anyone who dares to go against him gets cut to size, the 45-year-old said in the first TV interview since her suspension. In a statement to the BBC, the Senate's Deputy Chief Whip Nwabonyi said Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan was not being silenced and that her own legislative activities disprove this claim. Akpoti-Uduaghan, who represents the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP, alleged that the sexual harassment started in 2023, when she visited Apkabio's country home with her husband. She said the Apkabio squeezed her hand suggestively and said, "I will make an opportunity for us to come here and have a good moment." Nwabonyi, who says he was also present during the visit, stated, "At no time during the period in question did the Senate President make any unwanted sexual advances to Senator Akpoti at his country house." But Akpoti-Uduaghan alleged that this was just one incident of many and that the harassment continued for several months. She said that, while with other senators on the Senate's premises, Apkabio made a comment to the effect of, "Natasha, your husband is really enjoying. It looks like you'll be able to make good movements with your waist." The Senate President said this. Akpoti-Uduaghan told the BBC. "He makes very sexist statements than they senators. All laugh. He says in the Senate we're all men, she should be used to this." On his part, Nwabonyi said these allegations were completely false. Nigeria has one of the lowest numbers of female parliamentarians in Africa. Akpoti-Uduaghan, one of 4 female senators in a parliament of 109 members, and she is also the first female senator in her state. Her petition against Apkabio was dismissed due to procedural errors. Then on March 6, the Ethics Committee handed Akpoti-Uduaghan a 6-month suspension without pay, citing unruly and disruptive behavior during a debate in the Senate. Godswill Akpabio has denied the allegations against him. Akpoti-Uduaghan told the BBC that she no longer had access to security as a result of the suspension. "In the Nigerian space, we have had people over the past decades who have been killed for having strong views against the government," she said. "If I'm taking my kid for a walk, because I have a 2-year-old, will I be killed? Will I be attacked?" Civil society groups in the country have expressed concerns over Akpoti-Uduaghan's treatment, calling for a transparent investigation into her allegations. "All we can say is that today is a sad day for Nigerian women fighting for emancipation. Out of 109 senators, only 4 are women and 1 is now suspended," women's rights activist Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan told the BBC when the suspension was imposed. While rights groups and some social media users have expressed their support for Akpoti-Uduaghan, she also has her fair share of detractors. After she was suspended, 2 groups of protesters gathered near Parliament in the capital, Abuja, one backing the Senate President and the other in support of his colleague, chanting, "Apkabio must go." Akpoti-Uduaghan had also been subjected to an onslaught of misogynist abuse on social media since making the allegations, she told the BBC. "The scandal is the latest episode in a political career that has been rocky from the outset." Akpoti-Uduaghan first ran for governor of Kogi State in 2019 and alleged that her candidacy was challenged over her mixed-race heritage. She eventually appeared on the ballot, but was subjected to physical and verbal attacks during her campaign. In 2023, she ran for Senate and lost the election. The poll was marred by violence, and after Akpoti-Uduaghan took the matter to court, the election result was overturned. "I thought the worst was over with the elections," she told the BBC. "But for a woman, I guess it's never really over, right?" It's just different parts, different chapters. Akpoti-Uduaghan has taken legal action in an attempt to have her suspension overturned and plans to petition the Senate again with her sexual harassment allegations. Despite the heavy emotional toll, she said she did not regret speaking out. She said she feels encouraged by her husband, child and the masses of supporters outside her family, which include female politicians from other African countries. I have gotten calls on a daily basis from women connecting with me and telling me they are experiencing the same thing in their parliament, but that they can't speak up, she said. They say, Natasha, do this for us. This is my story, and my story is that of many women in Nigeria that do not have the courage to speak up. Share this video, share it right now, like and subscribe, for more of our videos coming up.
Alright, so we're back with a new update on Senator Natasha Akpoti. She's crying out and saying that there is a plan to arrest her as soon as she land in Nigeria. Senator Natasha Akpoti has raised an alarm that the Nigerian government is planning to arrest her as soon as she returns to the country. She is currently in the United States and she has not gotten back to the country. She made this claim after attending an Interparliamentary Union IPU meeting in New York on March 11th, where she openly spoke about her suspension from the Senate and also accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment. Now, following her speech in New York, Nigerian security agencies, including the State Security Services (SSS) and the National Intelligence Agency (NIA), began investigating, how she got into the IPU meeting without official approval from Nigeria. Now, some reports are saying that security operatives want to know if foreign interests helped her attend the event to embarrass Nigeria. Some believe her participation could be a breach of protocol as only official recognized lawmakers are only allowed at such meetings. Now, the Nigerian Senate has responded to her claims, saying her suspension, had nothing to do with sexual harassment and allegations against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Now, according to the Senate, she was suspended for, misconduct and for breaking Senate rules. I mean, they claim she disrupted Senate proceedings and, refused to follow, laid down procedures. Now, the thing here is we don't really know where this is going to. I mean, no one know where this this case is going, because there is no official confirmation that the government will arrest her, but I'm sure she's also convicted as well, that there is something going on, because I don't really know how this is going to end. But with the security agencies now investigating her, there is growing concern about what will happen when she returns, to Nigeria. The situation, like I told you, is still developing, and all eyes are on whether the government of Nigeria will take action against her or if this is just a political drama. Anyway, this is actually a video of some Nigerians sharing their opinion on this particular issue between Senator Natasha Akpoti and also the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. I want you guys to watch the video and also drop in the comment section what you think about everything they said, and also what is really happening between the Senate. Also, give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. With that being said, stay tuned, guys.
My opinion about the whole thing is that I think there's something fishy going on. Easily. If she was suspended just based on gross misconduct in the House, I've seen video clips of Senator Godswill Akpabio being extremely rude to the then Senate President Bukola Saraki. He was even pointing at Senator Bukola Saraki, in a very derogatory way, and he wasn't suspended. In fact, there was no verdict. There was no panel put together to judge this matter. But in the case of Natasha, everything was hurriedly done. How long did the panel even have to delegate on a matter? The judgment was hastily done, and that shows that there is something that is fishy. There is something they're hiding, and it's a bit tricky and very sensitive. There are some things I wouldn't want to see on camera, but it wasn't a fair one. It wasn't a fair one at all.
In my own honest opinion, yeah, I feel like she wasn't given a fair hearing. At least if something like that occurs, you should at least try as much as possible to give our audience, let her speak everything that is inside of her mind. But I mean, just jumping the gun and suspending her is way overboard.
Me personally, it didn't actually go well with me because I felt it's against human rights. That's what I feel. Actually, she should have been here upon, and then investigation should have been made instead of just going on to suspend her. That's what I feel personally.
It is in fact too much and too harsh for her alleged crime. It's too much and too harsh.
It was too much. Why should she be suspended in the first place? What was our offense? I mean, what exactly did she do that's warranted her to be suspended? I mean, I feel like there are a whole lot of, maybe because she's a woman, I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but I feel like there's a lot of gender politics, and of recent there's been lots of drama in Nigerian politics when it comes to women and whatever judgment or whatever impression or whatever impression that they're supposed to make of those people. The moment it is a woman, I feel like the whole impression is shaky, the judgment is also shaky.
It's too much, and not just being too much. To me, it's against human rights.
Yes, I strongly agree. I strongly think that women face some sort of subjugation in politics, not just in politics, even in the corporate world, corporate Nigeria. We experience it every day. And as a matter of fact, women are now taught how to communicate sensitive issues in order not to affect the opposite gender or to sound condescending in any way to them. So the treatment is not equal. It's never equal.
Yes, they do. Take, for example, the other senator. Is it Miranda that was asked to step down because of Obasa? Why they did that as well, I do not know. So like I said, this gender issue, I think that is not going to encourage women to actively participate in politics. If women are in power, are in key positions in the society, I mean, they should be given that audience to operate in their full portfolio, instead of trampling down on them with judgments, with this, with that, and the likes.
Of course. Looking at this situation, it's one of it. But of course, it's a way to silence her. That's why I said an investigation should have been made into the situation, because she said she have all the evidence. She have her evidence, like just like our lawyer said, she have her evidence of what they call the allegation and all of that. So that's why I said an investigation is supposed to be made into the situation, and then get the full knowledge of what is actually going on, instead of just going on to suspend her.
Okay, personally, I would say that we should become more emotionally and socially intelligent, because the manner in which you present your case can determine the outcome of the results of your case. No matter how serious or how grave your perceived treatment was, the way you present it matters more than what was actually done. And that is what is happening to Natasha. She didn't undo it in a certain way, because according to what I read about the Senate House, they said some things are meant privately for the House, and some things are not meant to be said publicly on the media. But Natasha did that. She violated those laws, and I guess that is why the whole thing is happening to her like that. I suspect there's a serious coup. There's a serious coup going on, but then I wouldn't want to say more than that.
Whatever solution that I think I'm going to proffer, this is Nigeria. Whatever it is, they will still find a way to shake women. So I feel like women staying away from politics is not going to solve the issue. So I feel like once we just have, like I said earlier, once we have women in power, let them operate in their full portfolio. If they operate in their full portfolio, if they have one or two issues, give them a fair airing. Not that we just come out from nowhere, trample upon this one, trample upon that. It will scare women from going out or coming out to participate and hold important offices in the society. That's just what I think.
I felt there shouldn't be silence. It's an indication that I don't know how to put it. Is it that they are a bit deprived of being to speak out? But I felt they should join hands together. They should, you know, when situation like that comes, they should join hands together and to ensure that they are not being put aside.
Good afternoon, President of the IPU. Good afternoon, colleagues. I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Ogbara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women. Because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate it's just 2.8. We have 109 men and only 4 of us are women. So right now it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women will go through every day in workplaces, in universities, and other aspects of our society. A culture of harassment and silencing must end. And this is not just a Nigerian issue, it's a global one. Women in politics, media, and businesses face threats, intimidation, and violence for simply demanding fairness. From sex for grades scandals in universities to harassment in workplaces.
Thanks for tuning in to Smart Okason TV show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to keep the intellect flowing.